Okay, let's start again, this time function. This is one of the lessons we have already seen. Let's say we've seen this lesson 3 times or more. The function which deals with your unit here, unit 8, is giving advice. Giving advice and asking for advice. When you give advice, you have, as you know, a lot of ways to give advice. These are the ways you can use to give somebody advice. You may say, for example, you ought to. Let's take, for example, somebody who is addicted to alcohol. You would say, you ought to stop taking alcohol. You ought to stop smoking. You oughtn't, you may use the negative. You oughtn't to smoke anymore. Maybe a doctor would say that to somebody, to one of his patients. You oughtn't to smoke anymore. If I were you, I would stop smoking. You can use the verb. Advice and the verb to advise. To advise someone. Tamp down these things pretty easy. Giving advice to advise somebody. So I said, you can also say, I advise you to stop smoking. If I were in your position, I would stop smoking. If I were in your shoes, I would. You may use this form, short form. If I were in your position, I'd stop smoking. Another way, you'd better, plus here, bare infinitive. Down again, short form, you'd better, rather than you had better. You'd better stop. Bare infinitive means without to. You'd better stop smoking. You'd better give up smoking. You'd better give up taking alcohol. These are ways, some ways of giving advice. Now, let's go back to asking for advice. When you ask someone for advice, you can say, come to somebody asking for his advice. What do you advise? What do you advise me to do? I am addicted to alcohol. So please, what do you advise? What do you advise me to do? You may say, what do you think I should do? Or, what do you think I must do? What should I do? Here again, these are some ways of asking for advice. And that's it. I come back to some exercise, for examples. You can go back to your books, you've got some. What can you say to the following people? Give advice. Somebody come in and saying, I still have problems with my English. When you want to give him an advice, what can you say? Take one of these. If I were you, I would revise my lessons. If I were in your position, I would read more and more, etc., etc. Another example. Somebody saying to you, I got my baccalaureate certificate, but I don't know a good high institute to study in. Therefore, you can say, why don't you go to the medicine university? Why don't you go to a high institute about engineering in Casablanca, etc., etc. Another exercise which can be given to you. Somebody come in and saying, I don't know where to spend my holidays. He's Moroccan. I advise you to go to Uzod. It's a nice place. Maybe a lot of you have already visited it. I advise you to go to Agilma Mazgza. Maybe a lot of you have already gone to Agilma Mazgza in Kunitra and so on, etc., etc. Another exercise. Maybe this one we have already seen it. Somebody telling you, I eat a lot at night. I eat a lot at night. I don't know what to do to stop this bad habit. Remember, we've already seen this sentence when we did the lesson about our habits, how to stop our bad habits in eating. So what do you advise him? I advise you, to take dinner any longer. I advise you to take something very simple at night, rather than having big dishes and so on. Last one, somebody coming to you saying, I'm addicted to computer. What do you advise me to do? You'd better not stay any longer at home in front of that terrible screen. You'd better leave your home for a while. You'd better read novels rather than sitting in front of your screen all day long, etc., etc. Thank you very much.